Do be sure you check out the full season review with the card and link in the description. Remember to like this video for more Gen 5 reviews. Okay, I'm going to come out and say it now. The Cutie Mark Mix-Up is the most underrated episode of the lot. I am not going to hold back in giving this episode the love it rightfully deserves. If you're familiar with this channel, you will know that this is my favorite episode of Chapter 2. I found it to be the most hilarious. Each of the characters got a chance of recognition, Opaline's plan actually pays off, Sunny and Hitch's friendship flourishes expertly, and the personality change provides excellent commentary for how our friendships can be either strengthened or broken. I am very happy that an episode like this one exists in the first season. So let me take you on a journey through the Cutie Mark Mix-Up and explore why.
You just don't understand what it's like to be me. And you never will!
One of the most highly regarded episodes of Friendship is Magic is the Season 7 episode A Royal Problem, where it dealt with intimate circumstances surrounding the then tense lives between Princess Celestia and Luna, which resulted in Starlight Glimmer impetuously switching their cutie marks. So the two sisters begrudgingly spent a day doing each other's roles until they were drawn closer due to the potential danger that could have blown up.
You don't need Luna. That's not true. Even when we were apart, I knew I needed her.
And their relationship was repaired when they both needed one another the most. I know that episode and this episode have been compared almost all the time, but there's no denying that the inspiration was clever. Instead of it possessing big stakes that could have surely wiped out a royal civilization, the plot is drawn to the one place where everything began. And no, it's not a downgrade. The Cutie Mark Mix-Up only enhances the elements that the royal problem missed.
You guys all think you're so much better than me.
The first 4 episodes were all character studies concentrated on our main protagonists, so they can be officially grounded into reality for the audience to understand better. I support the idea that the character-focused episodes came before the actual mystery stepped its hoof up. Opaline's machinations were nothing merely but breadcrumbs, boosting our excitement for when she would actually take her threat seriously. That's what I adore the most about her involvement in this episode. We learned that even her magic has been undermined due to the effect of the Unity crystals.
You know that my power is compromised.
You fucking child.
This minuscule slice of uncertainty from Opaline is one of my favorite moments of her role in Chapter 2. Not that I wasn't sympathizing with her, but it's hard to draw your brains away from who she really was and what she did that caused her decrease in magic. She even has to sometimes resort to pouring her sorcery from vials and jars, like a classic witch. To me, that gives Opaline that additional sinister gleam. I realize this has been a continuous hint during Chapter 2, but I shall address it now. No matter how many conflicting emotions I eat up from them, I gotta love Opaline and Misty's relationship.
Those silly little ponies have it! By accident!
Accident? We can try that too?
Stop!
It's clear as day that Opaline is striving for supremacy over Equestria with or without Misty, yet I can sense that she does care for Misty somewhat. Taking into account that Opaline found Misty as a filly, presumably someplace abandoned, you can't criticize Misty for falling under her immoral but affectionate wing.
Don't get attached, Misty. It's a sign of weakness.
Does that remind you of something recognizable?
You're not gonna get away with it!
Shut up!
I love you!
I said shut! Wait, what?
Opaline wants Misty to do good things in the name of bad resolutions, and you can see in her face that she is trying. However, Misty fortunately knows way better than Opaline. It's such a perfect contrast linking them together, and of course we are all rooting for Misty's reformation.
Misty!
Yes, Opaline?
Put on your special suit and get in the car!
Yes, mother.
Although, I wouldn't mind seeing Misty betraying Opaline and the Alicorn is the one begging for help. That would be such a twist. So Opaline gives birth to an artificial mouse spy to infiltrate the Bright House, and it comes at the most golden opportunity when the main 5 are announcing the grand opening to Sunny's community garden. I like that the fine continuity picks up after the ending of Alicond at the beginning of this episode. I have no idea how the residents did a 180 turn on their verbal abuse to Sunny previously,
Continuity.
but Izzy's meaningful interruptions were cute and humorous.
That's our friend! No pony interrupt him when he talks! Don't interrupt him!
And Zip's operative demeanor is put on full display from the offset.
Earth pony powers are officially called
flora magic.
This will become a potent piece of character involvement later when she helps Sunny and Hitch's wacky inconveniences. Sparky too gets a chuckle-worthy introduction when he accidentally sets the celebration off too early.
I call best spot!
Just be glad that he doesn't fart to startle Hitch, huh? His newfound powers are hinted at as well, as he can transform any kind of organic matter or object. His psychic link with the friendship tree in Growing Pains was just the start, and now that his transformative abilities are out there, it hands Sparky a spotlight of his own in this episode.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's easier than maintaining order.
I'm gonna get ya!
This turns his salient role into another funny problem, as he's also the foundation for how Sunny and Hitch's friendship gets repaired by means of accidentally switching their cutie marks. Plus, a byproduct of this transition causes their personalities to also undergo a change. Sunny rigidly values order,
We need order, and we need it now. Bop, 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 better pick up that cup.
and Hitch is haphazardly carefree.
Just do what you think is right, you know? Go with your glow.
I may be biased for this, but I prefer this format of characterization than how the royal problem handled it with Celestia and Luna. With the princesses, it was only their cutie marks that switched, and the spell Starlight cast wasn't permanent.
This spell lasts 24 hours.
They undertook each other's roles willingly to try and prove to the other that they're capable, but when they realized in fact they weren't, their sisterhood was treated naturally.
You did it! Only because you were here.
With Sunny and Hitch, there was no indication that Sparky's spell would wear off, so I enjoyed being anxiously blind, fearing if they would switch back or not.
So, we're stuck like this.
Their personalities also being transferred over to one another provides another startling perspective on both of their lives to really drive the point home for the pair of them. Even if it was by misfortune, Sparky forced them to experience a rude awakening to how they truly feel every day with their occupations.
I'm yelling timber, you better move.
I may not be an officer, but I openly understood Sunny's endeavors in customer service. It is hell, despite making tiny mistakes that don't make you at fault, but to the people, they treat you so harshly.
But I followed the recipe.
There's the problem. Sunny always makes them on the fly.
You've been too quiet.
No wonder Hitch runs out away from the ponies when he feels overwhelmed.
Great sheriff, but Hitch cannot make smoothies to save his hide.
It's why Sunny and Hitch's argument is another splendid moment in Chapter 2, both of them exploding on each other when they rapidly list all their struggles in one go. I was left laughing on the floor.
Do you even know how hard it is to be the alicorn in Maritime Bay? Every pony's watching. I need to be a pony that others can count on.
So do I!
I hate repeating myself, but it is another realistic situation that can definitely happen between friends, even the bestest of friends. Nothing is sacred after all, and there's ought to be days when nobody feels the same. You know what? I've got someone else who can explain this better.
It's okay to fight. Everybody fights now and then, especially best friends. But you gotta make up fast. No fight more important than friendship.
Until it culminates with Sunny and Hitch running into each other and apologizing for their outbursts. This reunion is immensely sweet, especially glancing at their collapsing expressions before they beam back into life with smiles and ending with their secret hoof shake. Yep, remember that too from the movie?
Up, high, down, low, hitch it to a post. Flip it sunny side up and on a piece of toast. Yes!
It's iconic and the most appropriate way to show that they are indeed on good terms, just for it to become the cure to revert themselves back. When you take into account the moment Sparky conjured the switch, Sunny and Hitch were basically one sentence away from their friendship being tainted. This reversal after the hoof shake doesn't feel contrived or contradictory at all, since both friends had to be reduced to their lowest points socially before they could even approach one another again. Sunny and Hitch earned their sympathy from their friends and even the audience when they couldn't handle the pressure anymore and embraced together, with a genuine apology, therefore causing the switch magic to wear off.
So, you think there's still time to fix all the messes we made today?
Only if we do what we each do best.
Well, bang, okay?
It's smooth storytelling in a nutshell, and the pacing of the episode helps it stay balanced without everything happening all at once. One particular detail that this episode and the last 3 have in common is that there's no sign of a side story squished into them. From now on, everything has to be related to the main plot that flows through. So while Sunny and Hitch end up having a squabble about themselves, who has been taking care of all the critters that finally feature in the series?
I want you to draw me like one of your French girls.
Turns out that it is Izzy and Pip's job, and I am not joking. Each and every one of their difficulties with rounding up the animals kept me giggling for how innocent the chaos looked. In Tell Your Tale, we had an episode that centered around the same kind of story, Baby Critters Club, and unlike this episode, that one was absolutely terrible. For one, it had Jazz Hooves as the main character, and she was abused beyond belief when all she was trying to do is pet sit them while the main 5 went out for a fancy fuck. Second, the critters in that episode had a higher level of intellect than the animals in Cutie Mark Mix-Up, yet they used that to their advantage by behaving like disobedient children that don't listen, and it threw the story and character qualities into the bin. Although the critters' contribution to the story in the Cutie Mark Mix-Up was fantastic fun because they're just animals. They may occasionally have tics of annoyance where it becomes too much, and yeah, maybe their appearances could have been reduced a bit.
I don't know how much longer we can keep this up.
But honestly, they don't make up the bulk of the story, which I can be grateful about. Izzy and Pip's roles are minimal too, and I don't mind that because they're only trying to help Hitch's pleas of rounding up the critters.
Can't you just ask them to chill out? You literally speak animal.
Unlike Baby Critters Club, the damage the Fluffbutts commit in this episode is really small. They're literally either just walking around or chilling on the spot. Watching Izzy and Pip making such a massive deal out of such a negligible issue was greatly amusing.
Don't just stand there! Help me!
We witnessed the girls try their hoofs out supervising for Sparky in growing pains and Alicond, so the audience could already develop a sense that they'll have no problem caring for a bunch of animals who are in no way more dangerous than Sparky. But this episode throws them a spanner, and the audience are taken aback when they watch everything going wrong with a harmless approach. Zip's character is no different either. No matter how much time she devoted into solving Sunny and Hitch's Cutie Mark problem, the real issue was running under her nose the whole time. Indeed, she doesn't end up directly solving their conundrum, but without Zip, the pair of friends would have ended up continuing to argue, never realizing when their cutie marks would have switched.
Your cutie marks are switched!
They are? They are!
I loved that Zip essentially slapped some sense and empathy into them. We got indications of this back in Growing Pains, Portrait of a Princess, and even her Tell Your Tale masterpiece, Zip's Flight School, when she wasn't afraid to speak her mind and attempting to set things back on the right track. Being the most rebellious member of the main 5, Zip made Sunny and Hitch fully aware of what happened to them and took the time to listen. That trait of hers may be ruined in the next episode, but here I'm thankful that Zip provided a helping hoof when both of them needed it the most.
Nice work, Detective Meat.
Lovely.
It helps the ending of the episode feel earned after all the trouble Everypony has gone through. The Critter Corner is a lovely creation, while it gives the Bright House a more welcoming impression. Learning that all of the girls have separate bedrooms on the upper floor of the building and Hitch is away sleeping in his office, I fell in love with this gesture from all of them. Hitch doesn't deserve to be left out, so his presence will always be seen with the Critter Corner, and his little buddies won't have to remain stray on the streets or stay in the station all the time. And speaking of strays, the mouse that went unnoticed by the ponies managed to give Opaline the information she needed to know. It kept me on edge how Opaline once again has another advantage over the ponies, realizing that their lantern is an instrument of great power. It sets up the next 3 episodes with a mission worthwhile of keeping an eye out for what could happen. The second that Opaline rejected Misty's request of keeping the mouse alive by killing it made my blood boil.
Can I keep him? As a little friend?
This is my boy!
Something I noticed about Misty's expression during their last scene in the episode, when Opaline demands her to stay focused on the task at hand of going undercover, she lets her face droop into a frustrated frown. I think it's an incredibly touchy blink and you'll miss it moment to seed her future doubt of being keen to Opaline. It all builds up to the end of Have You Seen This Dragon, where she breaks down crying on her bed. Here, Misty was observing all of these marvelous friends she could potentially make, but while she has Opaline overseeing her every move so she doesn't go out of line, she's just stuck.
No need for friends when you have a job to do.
Oh, and yeah, did you also catch that book Easter egg from Seashell?
Ooh, is that a new book you're reading, Seashell?
Yeah, it's about this tree that grows special crystals called elements.
Say what?
This is a groundbreaking discovery to keep in mind for the series' future, and hopefully it's not just in there for the lols. Although, perhaps, one has already blossomed. Woo! So, repeat this after me, Fluffbutts. Was it a yay or a nay? If you still haven't figured it out, the Cutie Mark Mix-Up is the one episode I defend to the death. This is exactly the type of fun and excitement I look for in My Little Pony. Creativity with a great twist on the story while humor gets squished in from time to time. Out of all the Chapter 2 episodes, this episode deserves a lot more love and acceptance. I am undoubtedly gifting this episode a yay. Fight me if you want, the Cutie Mark Mix-Up is extremely entertaining. It's a wonderful combination of fan nostalgia, realistic hilarity, and equally enough, Sunny and Hitch's friendship gets repaired in the most cynical fashion. Ignoring how on earth Maritime Bay's citizens went from being low-key racist to wholesomely taking part in the garden, the rest of the episode is a solid piece of amusement. Sunny and Hitch's fiery engagements occasionally cracked me up good, and witnessing them trying to effortlessly ace each other's jobs that inevitably flop was satisfying characterization. I'm glad that Izzy, Pip, and Zip didn't get shoved into the background either, as they each shined in the spotlight with their mannerisms and wacky expressions. Also, the fact that Opaline's plan actually pays off for once made me happy to see the story arc finally making progress for the last 3 episodes. She's still tastefully dislikable, and Misty's purity is admirable. Sparky remains adorably mischievous with his chase antics blending in with the laughable critters invading the Bright House in a way that's more tolerable than how other episodes handle the same concept by a mile. The final hoof shake was gleeful to see, reminding me of my love for my second favorite ship. There may not have been much emotion implanted, and the critters could have done a little bit more than just standing around, but on the whole, this will always hold the reputation as my top favorite episode of Chapter 2. I award the Cutie Mark Mix-Up a yay and an 8 out of 10. There's no doubt about my result for the 5th episode. I only hope that a number of people will be enlightened better to the brilliance this episode possesses. I happily give the Cutie Mark Mix-Up an A rank on the tier list. Thank you so much for watching this review, Fluffbots. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and hoof tap this video and comment your thoughts down below of what your thoughts on this episode were. Also, don't forget to leave a pledge on my Patreon page down in the description below so you can help support me in making these fantastic videos more consistently. And I shall see you all very soon. Goodbye! And before the video ends, I would like to shout out my Silver Fluffbutt patrons, Louise Wade and Alex Smith, and my Gold Fluffbutt patron, the Pate and Grauerful Trisky. I truly appreciate your love and support.